So let's get started this evening. We're going to start with the women's pro division. And in 5th place, from Clarksville, Tennessee, shooting for Matthews, Miss Laura Huff. And in 4th place, from Marsden, Saskatchewan, shooting for Hoyt, Miss Erin Mcclattery. And in 3rd place, from Dublin, Georgia, shooting for Matthews, Miss Kaylee Johnson. And your 2nd place qualifier from Wazeeka, Wisconsin, shooting for Matthews, Miss Emily McCarthy. And in 1st place from Townville, South Carolina, shooting for PSE, Miss Sharon Wallace.
Okay, the rules are very simple. If they want to call the
all right, Darren, so the field of play out here, we got 5 targets. Tell us what we're going to be doing, how the cycle works.
Target number 1 is a Black Panther. Target number 2 looks to be the Wolverine. Target number 3 is the Cinnamon Bear or Brown Bear. Target 4 is what Nathan showed you, the Russian Boar. And target number 5 is the large HD deer. Each lady's going to shoot 1 arrow. They're going to show the score. They're going to rotate 1 box. After 5 arrows, anybody that's within 10 points of the leader will get to shoot a 6th and potentially final arrow. And that should tell you who gets 1st, 2nd, and 3rd out there.
All right, we're looking at our 5th place qualifier, Laura Huff there. Laura's been in multiple shoot downs. She was Rookie of the Year in 2014, so she...
Man, she looks determined right there. Oh, just a little low for an 8 it looks like, but man, she was focused on that.
So, and let's talk, Darren. So right now, our first 3 classes of the night are what we call unknown distance. Tell folks what that means.
When they have a box that they're standing in out there, they're looking at the target, they're guessing how far it is. They obviously have a sight set up that they can move to the specific yard, but they're looking at a target saying, okay, I think this target's 40 yards. They'll dial their sight to 40, and then they'll aim wherever they think is, wherever they think is appropriate, you know, trying to hit the 12, et cetera, but they are guessing the distance out there.
All right, so first up, that was Sharon Wallace, I believe, with a 10 on the...
I'll try to keep track with some math here.
That was a 10 on the Panther.
A face only a mother could love.
And it looks like the Panther is a poke out there, too. And the Cinnamon Bear. They're both long targets.
No, I think he was talking about Donald. He said something about
417. Yeah, so keeping with what you're talking about as they walk to the next target. So, you know, the maximum distance is 50 yards, give or take. And I mean, if they guess 48 and it's 50 yards...
They hit 2 inches low.
That's a good miss.
Yeah.
So these ladies, when you watch it, they're going to be dialed in.
Yeah, and there's another 10 on a long target there.
That's a long target.
And those 12s that they're aiming at or trying to hit are the bonus rings that we always talk about. They're only about the size of a 50-cent piece, so it's not a real big target that they're trying to hit.
A 50-cent piece that they can't see really well.
That's exactly right.
So this is going to be Erin Mcclattery here. Looks like she's just wide of that 10. And the 10 is what we kind of consider par. That's what they want to hit.
Yes, you try not to give points back. You want to get at least 10 or hit a bonus ring and not lose any ground out there, but it's tough to do. It goes fast as well.
So there's a good shot at that line. We always talk about pulling the line. So the line is pliable. This is soft foam. When the arrow goes in, it can move the line.
Yeah, it'll pull, it'll stretch, but the line, or what they perceive as the bevel of the line, has to touch the arrow shaft to get the higher value. So she gets an 8.
They give her an 8. That was Erin Mcclattery.
Okay, gotcha.
So that moves her to 407. And Laura Huff.
And for Laura Huff. Currently 397.
8
8 for
points.
her as well.
And what that means, I mean, they're trying. They've guessed these targets. They've written them down on a card, and they know, okay, I'm going to shoot the deer for this. I'm going to shoot the black panther for this. When you step up and shoot one 2 inches low, for me, I start second guessing my judging. Oh my gosh, did I get them all wrong? You know, did I just misjudge this one? So there's a lot going through their head out there while they're guessing this distance.
Yeah, you've been out there, and I've talked to these archers before, and they always talk about, you know, here at home, it seems like it's taking a long time. For them out there, this is going fast.
Oh, it really is. It really is. And I always say they're getting calibrated, and that is, you know, hey, I need to figure out where I'm at. Did I see these right? Because as we mentioned earlier, this terrain, this perfectly flat grass field is totally different than where we shot the qualification round at.
Yeah.
So it does take some getting used to.
There's Kaylee Johnson, our Matthews Pro-Am winner in Metropolis just a couple weeks ago.
Kaylee's such a good shot. I talk about it all the time. She's a full-time nurse, shoots super strong shots, holds so steady. She calls a lot of uppers, and I think she hit that one, but I don't know if she called it.
Oh, lots of low ones here. Yeah, let's sort this out.
Look, Laura's really low on that panther too, so she's misjudged these a little bit to get started. She'll have to make an adjustment.
I'm sorry, Laura Huff.
Laura Huff, okay. That was a 5.
5 for Laura.
Next up, our leader, Sharon Wallace.
Puts her at 410.
Shooting at the Wolverine.
Yeah, these are long targets, so this will be an interesting shoot-off with some low arrows. It's going to be interesting. Good look at Sharon Wallace there.
So all these pros out here, there is a speed limit to how fast their arrows can fly. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that is I believe it's a 290 plus or minus 3%. So if you shoot an arrow any faster than 299 across a chronograph, if they test you, you will get disqualified.
Right.
Let's see if they can start taking
That kind of levels the playing field, you know, because some archers may be stronger than others, some archers may be taller, have longer draw lengths. All of that affects arrows.
Yeah, and that arrow speed, that's a flatter trajectory. So if you're shooting really, really fast, you can misjudge the distance. You know, it's not as critical. So they level the playing field by having a speed limit. 8 for Emily there.
They're struggling on these targets right now. We'll find out if Kaylee called the upper on this one, but she seems to be the first one to have a decent shot.
And I think she called it.
Kaylee Johnson.
Let's see here.
Looking for something special?
Shuffling cards.
Yes, she did.
12 points. Great shot. That's a way to make a move, because the other ladies, you know, obviously they're seeing the targets a little shorter than what they actually are. That's why they're hitting low. They're underjudging these targets. So Kaylee, you know, with a 12 right there and some other girls shooting an 8, that's a 4-point
She
swing.
just moved into second place.
For Aaron. Ladies, we move to the next target.
It is now Sharon Wallace 432, Kaylee Johnson 426, and Emily 425. There you see the score.
Aaron at 415 and Laura at
So we flip-flop. And Darren, as we always talk about, this is not just for fun.
Yes. Yeah, they're shooting for tournament money. The ASA pays them a check based off of the number of entrants, but you can see their shirts. There's Sharon with the PSE shirt. You're going to see Aaron wearing a Hoyt shirt. Kaylee's wearing a Matthews shirt. All these manufacturers pay a contingency bonus for first, second, and third place. So it's thousands of dollars.
Thousands,
You know, I think the women win 10, the guys win 12 or 15 depending on the manufacturer. So they're shooting, you know, the ladies are shooting for 10, 12, $14,000. The guys are shooting for close to 20 this weekend. So it's some serious change.
Yeah, some of the ladies, you know, as you mentioned, Kaylee's a nurse. She's one who does work full-time. Sharon is one who this is what she does full-time.
Man, Kaylee is killing it right there. That's a fantastic shot on that long deer.
There's our leader, Sharon Wallace. And if you missed earlier, Sharon is our Women's Pro Shooter of the Year as well.
Sharon got a little deep on that one. She, you know, you can see she let down. Something wasn't quite right, so she'll take a deep breath and reset. There's a good look at Laura. Nice, strong shot there.
That's real close to that lower 12.
Sharon should have plenty of time. They get a minute to shoot each arrow. 1 let down you can do, 2 you cannot. That's a good shot.
Center. Now there's that ring there in the middle. It is the same size as those 12s, but actually that's 10 points. That's not a bonus ring.
Aaron Mcclattery.
So Aaron Mcclattery at first on the Panther. 425 for her.
10 points is good there. That's a bomb.
Aaron comes from Marsden, Saskatchewan, which is in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan. I actually have been there bird hunting in the past, and it is in the middle of nothing. And it's, boy, this does not exist up there.
No.
She does this on her own, practices. She's out in a prairie, so she doesn't even have woods. She works hard at it, and it's where she lives doesn't help her.
I asked her how she likes this humidity in these 90-plus degree days. She says, I like it. She says, I don't like the cold. I don't know if I agree with her.
She lives in the wrong place for not liking the cold. Good for Laura.
12 points for Laura. Puts her at 422 if my math is correct.
Still 6 points ahead of Kaylee Johnson. With only 3 targets left.
Here's this long cinnamon bear, and it is out there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about distances when the known pro comes up, but we don't know how far these are right now.
For Sharon Wallace.
That's a good 10 right
Absolutely.
there. You're just trying to dodge anything negative on that Black Panther and that bear. You just don't want to give anything up. If you hit a bonus ring, you're gaining on the field because not many people, there'll be a few, but not everybody's going to 10 those, obviously, and we've seen that so far.
Here's that Russian boar.
It's an 8.
It's Emily.
Puts her at 433, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And for Kaylee Johnson.
And I think Kaylee 12 this long deer. Her cone's sitting out in front of her. They have an orange cone that they have to place out in front of them, and it is. That means they're calling that 12 when they place that orange cone out in front of the box, and she called it and she hit it.
She just moved that much farther in front of Emily, and now she's within 4 of Sharon with 2 hours in regulation.
Yeah, when we came in to start this shoot-off, Sharon had a 10-point lead over Kaylee, and now it's only 4 points. She's gained 6 points in 3 targets. That's a big move right there.
She's still within 10 points for a leader.
Kaylee is going to move around to one of the longest. We don't know how long it is, but that Panther is one of the longer targets.
Mm-hmm. And it's the black paint on the targets, especially in the woods, is hard to see definition. The muscles, you can see it's molded like a true 3D animal. And you're always looking at something to try to find a reference of where to aim because you can't see the rings. So anything 10 points or better on those long targets is great.
Good shot by Emily.
Good look at Emily there. There's Laura again.
We're going to see Emily's husband, Dan, here in the Open Pro division a little bit.
There's the Canadian girl. She went at that 14 and just missed it.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
nothing
not
to lose.
No one has shot at it yet, but why not?
There's a good look at Kaylee. Oh, and she shot an 8 tall, so she gives up a couple points right there.
Upper 12 call. 8 for Kaylee.
For Kaylee.
This is far from over.
See how that affects her at the end.
446, I believe, for Kaylee.
Aaron Mcclattery shooting and holding the flag for her, or umbrella for her, was Paige Pierce. Shoots women's known 50 out here and has won just about everything you can win in archery. Here you see Paige and Aaron.
Paige is a beast in anything archery.
Everything.
Everything archery. 8 points for Aaron there on that.
We don't know if we're going to get to hold those numbers, but he does a great job of doing that.
433 for Aaron's what I've got.
Yeah. Paige has won Vegas, Reading, indoors, outdoors, field, you name it.
You name it. Laura's shooting that long brown bear there, and she made a good shot on it. That's just right of the 12. That's a great arrow. Good for Laura. 432. I find it interesting. Laura's married to Open Pro Michael Huff.
Yep.
Emily's married to Open Pro Dan McCarthy. Sharon's married to Open Pro Jack Wallace. I mean, these couples practice together constantly, so they're always pushing each other. And I think it's fantastic watching all these ladies and men shoot as good as they do.
Absolutely.
She is now back to a 6-point lead.
10 for Sharon, 452. Yeah, Sharon and Jack, they're all over social media. They're constantly practicing, showing you their targets, talking about what they do, how they do it.
A 10 for Emily, which keeps her within 10 points of our lead.
I'm sure it helps them pushing each other all the time in practice. Not just Jack and Sharon, all the other couples as well.
Dan and Emily in practice as well.
To a sixth and final arrow. Ties can be broken by bonus rings.
So the gap from first to second went back to 6 now. Sharon enjoys a 6-point lead, which Kaylee was putting some heat on right there.
Yeah. Now Kaylee's coming to what looks to be the shortest target. So we'll see if she takes a big risk and goes for that 14, or
Yeah. If she really, now this is the fifth arrow regulation.
Yeah.
So anyone within 10 points again of the leader will get to shoot a 6th arrow. So with the point spread being 6 points, Kaylee, if she really wants to win, 14 would do her well right here. But again, like Nathan said, she shoots an 8 or a 5. She really doesn't have a chance to win.
right. She's already improved her podium position from where she came in. And that Wolverine is the closest target, but it's also one of the nastiest targets.
Yeah.
It's hard to see lines. The 14 on that target actually is really small. Some of the other ones, the 14 gets a little bigger.
There's a good look at Sharon right there. She holds nice and steady.
Super steady.
What a strong shooter.
Oh, and she plays upper, so I'm sure she called that one.
I don't see her cone, but
Emily went.
Okay, fifth
I
arrow.
can't see. There's a look over Aaron's shoulder shooting that long bear. Look how far that arrow goes up and before it drops in.
Is Emily McCarthy currently
That's a
at
poke.
433, 9 points behind
All right,
leader.
Emily McCarthy on the Panther. Oh, she.
Yeah,
Just
that's
low
just
there.
that's a long target, tough to judge,
Yeah.
hard to aim at, and I believe that's below the 8 line, but we'll see what the judges call it.
That was a good look at Aaron's arrow there. You
Yeah.
can really get a sense of the arc.
That might be touching the 8 line, but I can't tell. It is,
There you go.
Boosts her to 451.
and that was Emily.
51, that was Emily, yes.
451. Yeah, it's hard to see these camera angles where that line folds over.
Upper 12 was called.
There she was looking at Dan. We saw a quick shot. That was her husband in the background saying, I don't know.
Kaylee shot at that. I don't know if she shot at the low 12. She hit just above it for 10 points.
Yep, that's a solid 10.
So
for
depending on what
Kaylee Johnson.
Sharon called on this long deer, she'll take at least a 6-point lead into the final arrow, maybe 8.
Leader no worse than within 10 points of our leader.
Here's Aaron on this long bear. We are getting some rain that's just starting to fall down here. It's light. It's not a factor yet.
There's not a breath of wind yet.
No.
There was a little while ago when the rain came through. There's 10 points. 10 for Aaron.
was Aaron.
443. She won't be within 10 points of the leader there, and unfortunately won't get to make the 6th arrow.
Now we come around to Laura Huff.
All right,
I'm
Laura.
pretty sure she got that line. That is the 10 line, I believe. Yeah,
Looks like it's got it cracked right there.
we'll see. I mean, one of the issues with that is you can see those holes in the air holes from when they're making it. They had
10
she got
points.
10. And so that can obscure those lines as well. Put it in an air hole.
Sometimes when you look straight down the arrow shaft, you can't tell. You almost have to get above the arrow or below the arrow to see how it's distorting that line, or if it's actually broke the line.
Yep,
Sharon did 12 that target. She called upper.
there it is. Yes.
Oh, that's big right there.
All right, let's look at the board for our final arrow.
4, 6, 4, if my math is right.
She enjoys an 8-point lead over Kaylee
She
Johnson.
talked about playing the upper. She didn't used to do that before this year. Worked it into her game plan. Now she does it when she needs to, as well as aiming at the lowers, and shooter of the year.
Yeah.
Won a couple tournaments, so it definitely worked for her this year.
She's got a good game plan when she goes out there. She executes well, and man, she's got to be confident in her ability because she's always right there toward the top.
Always.
Shooting is Kaylee Johnson. We'll give 1 minute to judge, and then we'll
And in recent years, she's been shooting the indoor stuff, flying to Vegas, to
Yeah.
South Dakota, and shoots strong out there.
She won indoor nationals last year, not this past year, a year or two ago. She won indoor nationals, which that's a whole other animal, that game.
It is. But I truly believe that indoor shooting through the winter, depending on where you live. I live in Indiana. People that live in the northeast, they know what indoor season is because it gets cold. You can't shoot outside. But I think shooting at 20 yards repeatedly and then putting the pressure of, hey, I can't really miss if I want to win, because indoors is a game of I can't miss. And I think it's really elevated Sharon's 3D game, working on her shot all those times.
For sure. That was a look at the Black Panther. That's going to be what we're shooting at with those crazy green eyes. I don't know why they do that. It just looks kind of cool,
It does kind of look cool.
So, Darren, so the target there, we're going to shoot a target that has been out there, but Don Bailey and Scott Parrott, our tournament directors, have moved the shooting line. They moved it up.
Yep.
And it looks like they've also angled it a little bit. They've come a little bit to the right.
Yeah,
So
they do. If they walk straight in front of it, the girls could actually look back at the box and go, okay, I shot it for this, and now we're 7 or 8 yards closer. I mean, it's almost a known distance shot, so they walk them at an angle so they can't just do some basic math. And, it's an unknown class. You want them judging, you want them guessing. You don't want to really give them a number, but in some cases they can do some math and get close. So, but you can see Sharon's eyes there. She's looking at the ground, looking up at the target. She's picking out distances, and that's how she practices judging to figure out what to set her sight on.
that was a good look there at her process. She said she likes this being out here in the open, that she can judge a little better.
Mm-hmm.
She believes in the open like this.
She always shoots good in the shoot downs. You don't see, I think there was one tournament this year where Sharon might have shot an 8 on the final arrow and given up first place, but it just,
that was London.
That's going to happen when you shoot enough. Something bad, I don't mean to even say bad, but sometimes it doesn't always go your way. But the majority of the time she's out there and she's got a chance to win, and she's got an 8-point lead with 1 arrow to go. I mean, something bad would have to happen right here for Sharon not to win this event.
She hit the 8. That was in London, Kentucky.
Gotcha.
Cara Kelly, who was not competing here this evening, she was competing this weekend, shot an unbelievable 14.
That's what it was.
To put the pressure on.
Yeah, and that's a 6-point swing when someone goes 14 to 8. So let's see what Kaylee does here. Now it's just Kaylee and Sharon. Obviously, Kaylee can't finish worse than second. So if she wanted to gun at a 14, this would be a great time to do it. She did.
Oh,
she hit just above it. Yeah. Overjudged it by about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards.
So we should mention, to finish out our podium, Emily McCarthy's going to take third. Kaylee Johnson currently is sitting in second. It's not over till it's over.
Sharon. It's over.
That'll be a 461 for Kaylee.
It is over. You have won.
She's done. She doesn't even have to shoot.
That's it.
She's like, well, I'm going to take it.
Our classic champion, Sharon Wallace, second place. Kaylee
Don't need to shoot it. Why shoot it?
Yeah.
McKenzie and Lauren Huff.
This is what I call one of those double dip weekends.
Yes.
Sharon won Shooter of the Year. She's also just won the Classic. She'll get big contingency checks from PSE for both. So
Absolutely.
it'll be a really, really cool car ride home for those guys.
That's her husband, Jack Wallace, right there, of course. But yes, the double dip weekends, those are great.
Those are great, yeah.
And we may not be done with those. There may be a couple more of those.
There could be more, that's right.
At least 2 more. But Sharon's going to come over to our interview area, and we're going to talk to her a little bit. She can feel the emotions there. From a big win like that. A big double win.
That's got to be exciting.
So here she comes, and I believe she can hear us now. Sharon Wallace.
Hi.
Double win.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Classic and Shooter of the Year.
I am just completely overwhelmed with emotions right now. I've worked really, really hard, and Jack always makes sure my equipment's perfect, and I couldn't do it without all my sponsors, PSE, Hamsky, Trueball, or Excels, Dan. I'm just overwhelmed, and these girls, they just make me want to shoot and practice even more, and because they are so talented, and you have to be on the top of your game to shoot with these ladies. So I'm just very happy.
Sharon, we talk about your consistency, and you're always right there in the mix. there's really not a lot more to say about how good you are at this game, but what's it like driving home with like a bunch of several thousands of dollars in your pocket? How's that feel?
It feels good, and I'm ready to go get me some ice cream with extra sprinkles.
There you go. Congratulations on a fantastic weekend and a great year, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations, Sharon Wallace. Yes, that is her treat. She has ice cream when she takes home the big win. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. We're going to have Senior Pro up next here from Coleman, Alabama.